Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's a TNG review show. Yay! Woo!
Welcome, clap.
Yay!
I just pushed the unmute button so many times. It wouldn't work.
It just didn't want to know, did it? It just didn't want to know.
Or not Fulkin clap, but Joran clap.
Bajoran clapping. Good evening, everyone. After a few technical...
That's what you get for spending too much time around Shakar. Sorry, buddy.
Shakar. Yes, after a few technical hitches, we are here. Yes, for the TNG review show. Tonight, we are going to be discussing Season 4's episode, Night Terrors. Yeah. That's what we're going to be discussing today. I'm joined by my normal co-hosts, Lieutenant Maz and McBob. How you doing, Maz?
Hey, I'm good, thank you.
You having a lovely week?
Yes, good week. Today was my theoretically last day of work for 2.5 weeks, but I've got work I need to do tomorrow, so it's not really my first day off tomorrow, but I'm going on holiday on Saturday, so that's nice. Nice. Good evening to you, Sean. How you doing?
Yay.
Doing well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Chief Boingler. Boingler.
What else would you be? Where else would you be of a Wednesday?
Where else indeed? Where else indeed? And good evening, Tavykins. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. I managed to eat before the show.
Oh, that's good news. Good news. And you got a fizzy drink as well.
And I have.
You're on the radar.
I'm on the Rattler this week.
On the Rattler. Who have we got in chat? Good evening to you, Ruth. I hope you are well. Good evening to, lots of people I can't pronounce.
It's Oksana and Vladimir.
Oksana and Vladimir. Good evening, guys. Thank you for joining. And good evening, Stu Plum. Yes, we are here eventually. Yes, season 4, Night Terrors. It's going to be an interesting one tonight because looking at the comments from Facebook, it's a bit of a mixed bag on how people receive this episode.
I mean, I've just never known anything like it, really. I expected most people to be a bit meh about it, but instead we've had a mix of people saying favorite episode, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, to other people saying minus 10 out of 10.
Minus 10.
Worst episode. So yeah, I've never really seen anything like it.
No.
To be fair, most people say they love it. A few people say they really hate it. Very few people have gone in between.
Wow.
Spoilers for later. This
Oh.
is an episode that I don't think I've watched in about 25 years because I always skip it.
Oh wow.
And I just haven't watched it. I go, oh, this is the one with those really long scenes with just Troy just going, hey, where are you? And it's like, it's actually not that bad. So my opinion is vastly improved by rewatching it for the first time since the 90s.
That is good.
Brilliant.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. I've got my figure ready. Where's my figure? Here's my figure. I've got a figure to show you.
I left that back in the 90s too.
I'm going to... well, your figure. Yeah. You and me both, Sean. You and me both. Although mine was back in the 80s, I think. So, yeah, you're ahead of me there. But it is a question. It's a question this evening, so I'm not going to reveal it until we get to the right question. And yeah, I've tried to keep my notes as trim as possible tonight so we can finish in time for Stu Plum's bedtime.
I'm the same about my figure, but here we are.
Here we are.
Well, I don't have a firefighter who's wanting to go to bed tonight, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Okay.
He's off tomorrow, which is nice.
Right. Nice. Right. Night Terrors. Episode 17 of season 4. Production number 40274-191. It first aired on the 18th of March. Near your birthday, Maz. 1991. It's the 90th episode to be both produced and released. The story was originally by Shari Goodhartz, and it's her second of 3 episodes she wrote the story for. The first one being The Most Toys. The teleplay was by Pamela Douglas. The only teleplay that she made for Star Trek, along with Jerry Taylor, who we've talked about a lot. And it was directed by Les Lando. Again, we've talked about him a lot too. This is his 24th episode he's directed of 34 in The Next Generation. I got through all that, didn't I? Who wants to see the teaser?
Yes, please.
Oh, I do.
For those that didn't see it last week, at the end of last week's.
There's a decent amount of data in this episode as well. So
A
you must be
decent-
very happy,
I
Davy.
know.
That is the TNG.
I was.
daddy.
This was refreshing. This was a refreshing one. Like, Jesus, some balance. I'm either
Even
getting
gets to
everything
get
or
card
nothing.
orders.
Let me
I
just
know, right?
share my
It was so nice.
audio shared. That's good.
I mean, it's not lore, but you know.
I prefer data to lore, I've got to admit.
Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm 100% lore.
Well,
She's-
Laura is a
she's the
bit like
lore whore.
Loki.
He is a bit, yeah. I've
Yeah.
always thought that.
Yeah, you know,
Mischievous.
He is
Yeah.
Star Trek's Loki.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
The darkest of nightmares haunt the Enterprise.
Captain, some people experience hallucinations.
The crew's tormented by a fear of the unknown,
Something is waiting for us.
and they must fight against a horrifying destiny.
We will all go insane.
We may need to count on you for our very survival.
Night Terrors on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Night Terrors. Right, there we go. Sorry, Maz. Can you put your mic down a little bit more? I can't seem to get it right today.
Can't go any further
Oh.
down. I can put it up here, maybe.
Oh, right, maybe there. That'll do. Can I still hear you?
I hope so.
Oh, yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
still
you're
there.
there, yeah.
Ah, that's better. That's better. Okay. Rightio then. Let me just get the pictures up. because I know. Oh, even though this is quite a small run through today, word count is quite low for me, so you'll be pleased. There are actually lots of pictures, lots and lots of pictures
Yay.
today. So
Visuals. We like
I
Lots-
hope the kind I like.
lots of visuals.
lots of ones with a guy with yellow uniform and yellow skin.
Not so much. Not so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there are
You off a
That's-
Christmas card list.
there are quite a lot. There are
All
quite
right,
a lot.
I'm gonna have to check out for a little bit. I'll be back.
But the thing is, you see, for me, there's a lot of ship porn in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of ship shots. Yeah,
So you know,
and the new ones.
I got new Enterprise D ship shots. So I had to, you know, I got a bit picture happy. I got a bit enthusiastic. Yeah. Anyway, here we go.
Was it like a double Polaroid?
It was. Yeah.
To be fair, imagine we were watching the grainy VHSs back in the 90s, and now we get to see shots like that. Just the remastered perfect beauty. You can make out the Calypso, all the bays,
It's great.
all the decks, everything. Love it.
Yeah.
You can look into people's windows and watch them do
Yeah,
their regular
and the
life
Calypso was so
routines.
important they never used it once in 7 series and 4 films. But you know, it's
It's
there nonetheless.
there. It's there. We can marvel at it. Okay, so here we are with the teaser. We open with some eerie music. And a captain's log telling us that the Enterprise is passing a binary star system and they may have found a lost Starfleet vessel, the USS Bretagne. The ship has not been heard from for 29 days. But question number one, the Bretagne is a redress of which movie era ship? Is it the Excelsior, the Yorktown, the Grissom, or the Reliant? A, B, C, or D? Actually, Smiler Rainbow's not on, so I am going to just quickly... There we go. The Bretagne's a redress of what movie era ship? A, the USS Excelsior, B, the USS Yorktown, C, the USS Grissom, or D, the USS Reliant. So, yeah. And there it is. You can see it on the view screen there.
You.
He tasks me. He tasks me,
And I shall have him. Yes.
I shall have him.
I will chase him round the moons of... Yeah.
And around perdition's flame.
Flames.
Yeah, the round moons of
Before I
Flames.
give him up. Yeah.
I have a fully functional factoid that goes with the teaser as well, so I'll go ahead and put that.
There's the back of Data's head.
chat for everyone.
Hello, Mohammed.
yes.
How are you doing?
Nice to see you again.
In a mo.
Well, for 10 extra TNG points, I'm just giving them away this evening, right? For 10 extra points, what class of ship is that? So, yeah. You have to know the class and type it into chat. What class of ship is it?
I
Tabby
swear
bet
to
me.
God, if Sean's chat got in before mine, I would just die.
No, Tabby bet me.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Was it
If
the
you-
first
I was
one?
going-
That?
Feel free to let chat have a go. They're like, "Okay."
If you ever get to play Star Trek Starfleet Academy, you get to use all these ships, so you get used to them.
Well, I used to play Star Trek Online, and yeah, I definitely have.
But
them.
back in the day, it came on 5 CDs, so it was a huge game. But yeah, rock hard and very frustrating to play it now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, 10 extra points. Yeah, get those. Feel free to copy Tavona and Sean at your leisure.
So it wasn't just the first person who gets the 10 extra.
No,
points
you can
then?
all have them. You can all have them.
Ah,
Just
Yeah.
just keep generating the chat. That's the just
And,
put it in, copy
yeah.
away, copy away. Put it in multiple times just in case.
Although we did see the Yorktown, it wasn't called the Yorktown when we saw it because it was it was rechristened. We never saw like the decals on it saying Yorktown.
We
did
didn't. It was rechristened, baptized, or whatever it is. By the time we saw it in Star Trek 4, yeah.
Can you remember the other time that happened in Star Trek? Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine, Defiant.
Yeah. Do you remember what the second Defiant was called?
Nope.
City in Brazil.
Rio? No.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo.
Mm.
Okay.
I've got a
So,
functional factoid.
Go for it.
Don't forget me.
all right.
I did put it in chat. This system that they're flying nearby is a binary star system. And the fully functional factoid is singular star systems. Star systems like our solar system are actually rare. So many of the systems in the galaxy contain multiple stars. And when it comes to life possibilities of recolonizing different areas of space, it makes it extremely unlikely that we'll find something that fits human life because of the varied radiation and spectrums that these suns give off, along with the gravitational pulls. So we might not make it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you could get lucky. You could find a planet that's equidistant between the two stars, and it's far enough away the radiation doesn't affect it, but the gravity keeps it warm by kind of pulling it in two directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Like Luke Skywalker's planet.
Yeah, with the three suns, yeah.
Yeah. There's a thought.
Fascinating.
There's a thought that we could be in a binary star system, but our binary star is a really dull, small brown dwarf, and it's just too dull that we've never spotted it. But
Really?
But they also think there might be
also
another
possible
giant
to
planet
fall.
out there. There's something that affects
Planet X.
the Planet X theory. Yeah, there's something that affects the outer solar system and the planets out there and disturbs their orbit. Whether that's a distant brown dwarf or a Planet X,
or a miniature black hole or something.
something.
There's some sort of something roughly called Planet X, but it could be any number of things. Could be dark matter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a bit. We just slipped into the Monty zone there.
And am I right in saying that there was a planet that they invented to solve an equation that wasn't there, and it was called Vulcan for a while?
Vulcan.
Am I right
Yeah,
in saying
that's true. Yeah.
It wasn't. They thought it was, but then they hadn't accounted for a moon or something.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Right. So they find the ship adrift, but not damaged. The sensors cannot determine whether there's life aboard, but Deanna senses something. Ooh, what does she sense? Next picture. Riker takes Data Wharf Crusher on an away team to find out what's happened, and Deanna wants to come along too. What's wrong with this picture?
Is the scale wrong?
No.
The ship.
Oh,
They
yes,
spelled the
yes.
name wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the
Supposed to be Bratane,
Bratane and
not Britane.
they,
When I was looking at Memory Alpha, I was getting confused. I was like, wait.
I love that shot though. It's just fantastic. The shadows and everything. It really gives a sense of scale. You'd really believe that's a real ship. It's just fantastic.
That is beautiful.
I'm just surprised in
Even
the
things like the little rivets and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm just surprised in the Blu-ray that they didn't digitally correct that.
Yeah.
I wonder on a scale of a model, you can even see this little, as I said, like little riveted sheets, like the deck, like there's actual plates.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very. I don't know how they do it. It's good. Michael Kuda's a genius.
Yeah.
You would think with those plates and those visible seams, if it's not for style, it would create some sort of issue when you're going through space. But I guess with deflector shields, you'd never get friction on those plates.
Well, especially not in a vacuum.
Yeah, there's nothing really to. When it's traveling in
Debris,
space,
when it's hitting debris and stuff.
that's what the deflector dish is for. Debris never hits it.
Stuplum's guessing out of the blue. Miranda.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where he got that
What
one
made
from.
you think of that, Stu?
Very good.
We're a telepathic episode, so I believe this energy is going through the audience.
Yeah. So there you go. They've beamed over. They find no issue with any of the ship's systems, but everyone on board is very dead. Deanna detects someone alive, though, and they open the door and find a Betazoid male in a catatonic state. And here
Do
he
we
is.
know how long they were all there for?
They do say it. I think it's something like 27.
29.
Wait.
Uh,
That might be a question.
no, it's not. No, I said it was adrift
no,
for 29 days. It's been missing.
29 days, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know when they all died.
No, it seems fairly recently though. I think the next.
Yeah, it's a bit
Well,
odd that like it
based
would
on
be
how
a
long.
bit whiffy, wouldn't it? You know, if there was all those dead bodies around. But they seemed a bit surprised to find dead bodies. Plus, like if he's catatonic, he wouldn't be able to go any more than a couple of days without water.
Did you recognise this guy at all?
Yeah.
Yes. I looked it up, but yeah, I kind of half recognised him, and now it's gone out of my head again.
I recognised him, and I can't remember his name or what the character was called, but I recognised him from Babylon 5. He played. He played a number of characters, like 3 or 4 characters in Babylon 5. But the main one was a Membari, who was kind of like the head of the Grey Council, or like sparred with Delenn. They didn't get on.
John Vickery, he went on to play a Cardassian called Rusot in the
DS9.
last season of Deep Space Nine. That's the one of the rebels that has a big problem with Kira, and Damara ends up shooting him in the last episode or 2, which I just happened to be watching earlier. And he played a Klingon on an Enterprise.
Ah, yeah.
Although, to be fair, you wouldn't recognize him from those roles because the makeup and such, we wouldn't make that connection.
Yeah. Hubby says D. Well done. Yeah. Anyway, that was the end of the teaser. Questioned and answer to the question. The Britannia was a redress of which movie era ship? Excelsior, Yorktown, Grissom, or Reliant? Hopefully everybody said D, the Reliant. And did everybody say D? I think everybody said D.
And almost everybody said Miranda as well.
Yeah. Well, you've all got your extra points then.
30 points for many people.
Many peoples. Well, people were moaning about not having the multiple choice and it being too difficult last week. So I've made it nice and relaxing and easy this week.
It was slightly abusive, yes.
Abusive.
Sean, Ruth wants to know if you ever go a day without watching Star Trek.
Not anymore, because I got a new laptop and then I moved my old laptop to my work from home office in my dad's house, so I generally just have Paramount Plus on the go pretty much all the time. So, but like there was a good year and a half, 2 years where it wasn't on streaming and you have to download them, and you can get good, through let's say unusual means. There's actually HD upscales you can get of DS9 and Voyager to watch better quality ones.
Can you?
Yeah. If you know where, and if you look at the bay where you may find pirates, you'll
if you
find
sail the high seas, you can find them out there.
There's some AI upscales of those that are slightly better than what Paramount Plus have. But I'm back to streaming because it's just easier. I've basically got 2 laptops like this, so I have one and just have an episode go when I'm doing my boring admin. Cool. I do admin for a bank. I do AML KYC checks for a bank. It's not that interesting, so I need something on the go.
So Act 1.
I even know what those acronyms stand for. That's
well done. Very good. Was there any goofs or anything else in the teaser? I mean, we pointed the ship spelt wrong.
There is one, actually, I'm not sure if it's in the teaser or it's in Act 1. But there's an insert shot where Data uses a panel and starts tapping a few buttons. Actually, I think it's in the next one. And he does it exclusively right-handed, like his left hand is dead, and he just types it all like this. And it's clearly just not him, because as I stated before, he's a lefty.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. Usually I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Well, if you see a shot of him using his right hand primarily, it's not him.
It's not him. Yeah.
So it becomes very obvious. If it's a
Naturally,
mixture of
I'm not
hands or
interested.
left-handed, probably the hand is not quite as slim as his either. But to me, it sticks out because I know he's a lefty, and it always sticks in my head.
You sure he's
Slim
not
and
just doing
elegant.
something more interesting with his left hand?
Oh, on duty as well.
Being fully functional, yeah.
I love where you're going with that, Mazza. You naughty.
I love how he retrofits himself to be a flotation device, amongst other things. Because in the first season, they say he sunk to the bottom of an ocean or a pond, and he had to walk his way back out of it because he fell out of a boat. And then later on in Nemesis, he's like, I can function as a flotation device, and he just puffs himself up. So somewhere in the middle there, he
Brent
clearly
Spiner
upgraded
was
himself.
extremely.
He clearly upgraded himself. Now he may have upgraded himself in more way than one, but that's for us to guess at.
Well, it's his pseudo-human nature to want to improve and better himself, right?
Yeah.
Sinking to the bottom would be a big one.
Also, this is supposed to be a turbo lift, apparently, but it's not really obvious. It's just
Oh,
like
is
a
it?
random room.
It just seems like a room. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could be the
Could be a head.
the ready room, but it's supposed to be a turbo lift.
Yeah. I thought it was a ready room, but yeah.
I like how they changed the colors. They made it seem like it was a different place.
Yeah, well, it is very much a different place, this one. The bridge set is just an amalgamation of lots of different bits. It's not the standard bridge set that we normally get. It's just a whole bunch of bits.
The unit at the back must be from a transporter room, and then it's the standard bridge set that they've redressed.
The unit from the back was actually from the hospital in The Wounded.
Oh, yeah, that was the back panel, but I mean, I'm talking about the enclosure with the panel in front.
Right,
it looks like a transporter room. It may not be. Yeah, and there's the various struts and the light fixtures and
bits of the battle bridge and
bits of the battle bridge,
bits of the lab and
bits of the Romulan bridge, bits of whatever.
Yeah,
it looks good though. I like it. I actually really like the style of it. I think it's a great bridge.
Yeah, and also Sean, the Excelsior was Excelsior class. Yes. It's the
I may
first.
have been joking with that one.
Oh, you.
What was the registry of the Excelsior? Do you remember?
NX 2000 initially, and then NCC.
Yeah, and then NCC. Later on. Correct.
Yep.
Tavi, do you ever feel like they're on this whole other level of geek to you and I?
No.
Well, I couldn't tell you the grissom.
Actually,
I couldn't tell you the grissom, the Reliant, and the Yorktown, but I can tell. It's 2000, so it's easy to remember. But they called it 2000 because it's all futuristic for the future. But now 2000 is like, I know people that were born in 2002, 2003 have gone for pints with, so not so futuristic anymore.
Right.
No, Mazza, I love it. I'm sorry. I'll hush.
No, it's all right. We're going to move on. Here we go. Act 1. We're getting into Act 1. This is the first and only time we see the morgue room. This act starts with them leaving the morgue and entering the back door of sickbay, which is one of only 4 times we see them use this door. So there you go. Dr. Crusher gives Picard an update on the autopsies, and the Betazoid is still in a catatonic state. As they leave sickbay, Deanna tells him she is here telepathically if he needs her, and he says he hears voices. And another lovely shot of the. Sorry, I just couldn't help but keep putting these in when they.
That one is a breathtaking shot.
Love the shadows. They have to take the model nice and close, but they put one source of light like 50 foot away, just so it get those long shots to make it look like it's a sun or something.
It's great, isn't it?
Just great the way they do it. Although those old lights they put in them, I think they're mostly fiber optics, but they still have to use old bulbs. They heated up old filament bulbs, so they'd only have like 5 or 6 minutes to take the shots. Then they need 15 minutes to cool it down because. Otherwise, the whole thing would melt. It was plastic and wood, basically.
Mohammed thinks the NCC 1701D is the best starship. I
should have some good shots of
I
that
can't disagree with you. There'll be some of them coming up in a bit.
I don't know if you can get as I mean it's great in a lot of ways, but look at I don't think you can get a beauty shot like that of the D. Just the shadows don't fall on it the same way. It doesn't have the same profile.
The shots of the D. You can't say that with me in the room.
You need a wide-angled lens. That's the thing, because of its girth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
It's got width and length. You see,
It's got
like
it
a
all.
transporter
It's
room.
got it all.
It looks like a transporter room where they're standing. I realize
It does look like it. Yeah.
That's the ops or tactical station or engineering, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, it should be where Worf's standing, so you'd assume it's security, but I guess it's engineering.
Yeah. Back in the Britain, then, Geordie's trying to get the ship back up and running so they can send it back to the starbase, but nothing's happening. Oh, no. Here we see And you can see from this shot of Data here, up top left corner, you can see the Britain. It's supposed to be the A. It's spelled correctly everywhere else, just not on the model.
Again, cracking oculogram there. Just look at the amount of detail on that. That's fantastic.
I know.
I'm sure that's all in jokes, the text and writing, but which you can't read. But the actual drawing, like they had to get a black sheet and etch that out with a little razor blade to make that, and then shine lights through it and put the amount of effort they had to make those. You're talking 100 hours. It's amazing.
I do believe they actually spent a good amount of time on Data. Yes, I agree.
They do spend a lot of time on him as well.
He has such a soft jawline, so it's really hard to catch the beauty. It's very Lion Decker-esque.
I like the way they got him shot from a light from the side so that they can capture the. Oh no. Okay. Question 2. Question 2.
Or maybe just because it's a guess set they didn't.
You can almost see the rivets.
Screwed them together.
or maybe because it's a guess set, they just didn't set up the light rigging for even lighting.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I've got blood wine this evening. And it's Stew Plum's homemade blood wine tonight.
Oh, nice.
So here's to Stew Plum. Thank you very much.
I have something French. Very nice.
Okay, question number 2. The captain of the Britain was Captain Chantal Zaheva. But the Britain was a redress of the Reliant, as we found out in question 1. Who was the captain of the Reliant in Star Trek 2 before Khan took it from him? So,
okay, I've locked it in, but I won't.
Bit of a old.
Yeah, we gotta.
Bit of an old lore question here for all you old-time Star Trek fans out there. So, was it A, Captain Sulu? Was it B, Captain Terrell? Was it C, Captain Chekhov? Or was it D, Captain Sinclair? Sulu, Terrell, Chekhov, or Sinclair? A, B, C, or D. I better put that into chat so you can all see that. Hopefully I've spelt things correctly. There we go. Oh, yeah. I thought A, Sulub. Oh, no, it's because it's concatenated it all together.
Yeah.
Spaces.
Yeah, spaces. Okay. So
waiting, Sean. We'll wait until some people.
Yeah, wait. You're right. Yeah,
I'll give everyone else a chance to answer, but I do know.
So back in
the actor did go on to do other roles in Star Trek.
Yeah. Yes. Back in the Big D, the Doctor visits Picard in his ready room and reports that the Britain crew killed each other. No drugs or anything else found. She shows the captain's log, which clearly shows the captain going mad.
Oh.
G?
Problem?
I think G's just joined us backstage.
Oh.
Really?
Yes.
What are you doing there, sir?
Admiral Bumfeeler.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Good evening,
What
sir.
is that
You're right.
hallway looking like?
Yeah.
Always looking suspect.
Sorry to interrupt the show and all that.
Right.
I just thought I would come on and say, well, first of all, that I love you guys, and I think you're doing such a brilliant job of the show. But I hear that it was a special anniversary date today for TNG in the UK.
Oh, it was.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's in America, yeah, the premiere date.
The premiere.
Oh, the premiere date. So it's for the US, not the UK?
Yeah, it was first. It's 35 years since its first broadcast today.
Yeah.
God, doesn't that make you feel old?
Really-
35 years.
But in the UK, you only got it 3 years later. So it was 87, and I think it was 89 or 90 by the time it came out in the UK in Irish telly. So in our minds, it isn't that old because we got it later.
Hmm.
Very cool. Well, I just thought I would come on and say hi and
Yeah.
celebrate with everybody for the anniversary and everything.
Happy TNG
Well,
Day.
Happy.
Even though I've got my uniform on, I just popped on. That's all. Just didn't want to disturb you too much. But
Welcome to
also,
stay. You're welcome to stay.
well, I've got to get on with some content that I'm working on. I've got some editing to do. So, but yeah, I will be watching whilst I'm editing and commenting. But I also just wanted to come on and use the opportunity greedily and sneakily to promote the Friday Monty Zone. And don't forget the Friday Monty Zone.
Friday Monty Zone September podcast. We're going to be talking about a wide variety of things. We haven't got a particular topic this week. It's going to be a bit of a free for all. So yeah, feel free to come in and grab yourself a beer and talk about all things paranormal and fringe.
Nice.
Very cool. Well, I can't see chat at the moment, but hello to everybody in chat as well. Hope you're enjoying the show. I certainly am. And yeah, if you haven't done so already, do the whole thumb.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I love
Schultz
you
just
guys.
remembered.
Enjoy the show.
He's
And
all right. Cheers, G.
as you can see, there's a red alert going on, so Admiral Bum feeler.
You better get
it
back
would
to
be
the bridge.
blue alert, but that would involve changing the bulb.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.
You just remind me of a customer I once dealt with whose name was Randy Bumgardner. But anyway.
Wow, that's a hell of a name.
Yeah, well, he was American. Well, the Baumgartner is like what, lumberjack or tree feller in German.
Oh, yeah.
Baum being
Yeah,
tree,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Gardner being gardener. But sometimes Americans change Baumgartner to Bumgardner, and then this guy was called Randolph, so he's Randy Bumgardner. So, yeah, great fun dealing with him. If you're still out there, Randy, hope you're doing well.
My God, what would his porn star name be though? Like, he wouldn't have to change his name at
John
all, right?
Smith.
Yeah. I was when I was in the military, I had to go to tech school. Air Force and Navy went to the same tech school that I went to, and the names that the other guys would tell me, that people who actually were in the Navy just had them dying, and then we had a few in the class. And
What, like private parts or things like that?
no, your first rank in the Navy is seaman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you don't want the one that took the cake by the end of, I'm sorry, wait, will this get us like banned or something?
What's that?
No.
No,
Okay, because it's actually his name.
Overly vulgar, yeah.
Well, anything attached to the rank of seaman is going to be vulgar. I'll put it in chat. I'll leave it there. Let me not say it. I even feel dirty having to repeat it. Oh my God.
Well,
Wow, if it's making you like not want to say it, it's got to be real bad. I'm like excited to see what this is now.
That was his name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Seaman
was-
Guzzler.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh.
funny.
that was the worst one.
Where I come from, Power is a really common surname, and
Go on.
yeah, so there's you get like Willie Power, Mickey Power. You know, you get kind of, you know, I have a friend called Power. I was trying to convince him to call his son Max. You know, didn't happen, but would have been good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we're seeing the captain's log. The captain of the It's Gone Mad. Meanwhile, oh no, I've just realised that picture is on the wrong thing, and you can't see that at all, can you? This is the picture I meant to put up. There we are. We're in the ready room. Yeah, captain's log. Captain's gone mad. Meanwhile, Troy is flying through green clouds towards two bright lights. There it is. Where is she's hearing a voice telling her, eyes in the dark, one moon circles. And then she wakes up and realizes it was actually just a dream. Who wears a halter neck to bed? Anyone?
Well, she used that in a different episode where she was trying to seduce Riker, and I guess they just had it left over. Also, the duvet she had was one of those kind of silvery blankets that are normally in sickbay. So, yeah, I guess they spent the budget for this episode in other places because they're too costume reuse.
I just wouldn't like that laying down in bed. I just wouldn't like a halter neck like that around my neck.
Maybe she's into
Well,
that.
Oh, that's just me.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I know.
me too. Yeah. But they very deliberately framed that to keep the cold weather out of the shot, shall we say?
Oh yeah,
You,
yeah.
John says,
Yeah.
what a peach. Peachy bum.
What a peach.
Keep the nips out of the shot.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the end of Act 1 as well. So, going back.
Bankers in the house.
Yay! I hope your day at work going well. Let's go back to question 2 then. And I tell you what, whilst we're going back to question 2, let's leave that one there.
Cheeks in the dark.
Yes.
Cheeks in the dark. Let's leave
Bingo!
Here you go. Okay. The captain of the Britain. So, who was the captain of Reliant in Star Trek II before Khan nicked his ship? Was it Sulu, Terrell, Chekhov, or Sinclair? It was B, Captain Terrell.
Just for the record, it's an Irish name and it's Tyrrell, but Americans, they mispronounce things.
Yeah, that's what they called him.
Oh no, they spell it right, but Tyrrell it is, and it forever will be.
So hopefully we had some B's. I see a B, a B, a B, a B. Yes.
And what other TNG role did he go on to play? The famous one, do you remember?
We've had it already.
Yeah.
It's been and gone. I remember I remember talking about it on this show.
His eyes wide. His arms open.
Did we lose Monty?
Yeah. No. My brain.
Darmok and Jalad.
Oh, we haven't talked about that one yet.
It was Dharma.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
he
he played the captain in the episode Darmok. He's not called Darmok. That's the story he's telling.
Yeah.
Dathon apparently, but there's a good question to save that one for later.
Was there any other?
That is the best shot of her ass.
Was there any other goofs and trivias and things?
Not so much a goof, but these.
Okay, so we actually get just. Oh no, are we losing people? No, okay.
Hopefully not.
No, we're still
that's
9.
just G-Star doing an impression of Troy.
Oh yeah. Where are you? I can't see you.
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
Booty shot.
Yeah, these flying shots. Apparently, Marina Sirtis was like really, really scared of heights, and the fact that they had her on, like with a sort of green screen or blue screen or whatever, suspended 15 feet over the floor, like she found absolutely petrifying. And she had been complaining apparently that like her role didn't have enough sort of action or stuff to do, and then she was like, that backfired.
Well, if you remember in Galaxy Quest, there's a character that Sigourney Weaver plays whose only job is just to ask the computer and then repeat what the computer says over and over again. And it's a little bit about a horror, but it's also about her. It's her role is fairly superfluous. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Later on, they gave her command for a couple of episodes, and they did a few things with her. But
even at the beginning of this, where she's like, "There's something." But it's
also,
like, even when she detects something, like she never actually says anything useful or...
Also, the whole thing when Whoopi Goldberg wanted to be on the show and, any episode she's there, she's giving guidance to people. She's basically just, anytime she's available, they took all of Troy's lines, just gave them to Whoopi and turned them into a 10-forward scene. So just straight up cut her out of episodes just to give Guinan things to do pretty much all the time, because they both served the same purpose. They were both giving advice and guidance.
Yeah.
They did allow her to helm the Enterprise in Generations.
Yeah, she's the only one to crash 2 Enterprises.
Yeah.
You only see her in charge of the con on the D once, and she crashes it. The con at the E once, and she crashes it.
Yeah.
The premiums on her insurance must be terrible, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing about this scene was remarks from Jonathan Frakes, who apparently doesn't really like this episode, and he said, "Oh, that was a yawner. That shitty piece of special effects when Troy was flying around those clouds near her, that was below our standard." So yeah, didn't go down well with some.
They didn't even pay for a wind machine. Like her hair is just flat.
That's the problem with it. There's no additional, there's no like smoke going in front of the camera. There's no wind. It looks like she's just like in front of a green screen.
Hanging there.
In front of a green screen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Star Wars prequels.
I'm quite surprised that they didn't do anything with it in the Blu-ray. They left these scenes exactly as they were. Didn't upgrade the special effects or anything.
The ass shot was meant to carry that.
I think the effects are fine. The problem is the environmental stuff isn't right. So they didn't have fans blowing on her. They didn't have rain or mist. And then you can't really, trying to get her hair to blow digitally is,
No, but they could have added something to the, I don't know. They could have. They
Yeah,
could have
they
done
could have
something.
they could have had some clouds coming across. To
Yeah,
give it,
they could have done
yeah,
something.
I don't know. I suppose they could have done something. But
Added a bit of mist or just something. Yeah. Yeah, to disguise it if nothing else. Just make it blurry. But, anyway, Act 2. We're on with Act 2.
Yes.
4 days. 4 days later. And they've made no progress whatsoever. This is actually one of the issues I have with this episode, is they keep jumping long periods of time. So this is we got to imagine that 4 days have gone by and they've done absolutely nothing in 4 days. They've made no progress whatsoever, so they decide to tow Brittain back with them. Geordie and Ensign Peoples, that's what he's called apparently, are working on prepping the Brittain.
I don't remember his name being said in the actual episode.
No, his name wasn't mentioned in the episode, but he's credited as Ensign Peoples. Peoples frantically thinks that there's someone else aboard. He goes a bit mad for a minute, but then realizes that it was just his imagination. Geordie puts it down to the fact that 34 people died on the ship, so you're bound to feel a bit weird about it.
could that be a hidden 47? I was thinking because 34, 4, and 7 was a 4 there.
It's a 4 and a 7. Could be.
Hard to
Maybe.
call.
Could be. In sick bay, 4 days later, Troy still sat by this guy's side.
You know it's a science lab because there's different coloured liquids on the table. Very important.
You got to have the different colour liquids, probably with no tops on.
Yeah. That's just par for the course.
Yeah.
Safety.
But this time, Troy's saying, you can talk to me, and the patient mentions something bright out there.
Also, I love how he has a pillow that no way belongs in sickbay or blends into anything else there, but clearly they went, his head's too far down the shot, and they just shoved one in that doesn't belong there.
Yeah, stick another pillow in there.
But you get a hospital pillow, it matches all the other linen. What's that?
It's special. It's his special pillow. I see we lost Tavi there. Come back, Tavi. There she is.
Hey.
Yeah, there we go.
Something's happening on my side. It keeps dropping. I thought it was you guys dropping out, but that's obviously just me.
Nope.
I've actually got a massive Ethernet cable coming tomorrow to hardwire me in, so I'm hoping this will be the last sketchy live stream I ever do, and it's going to be solid from now on. That's my hope. But here we go. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right, we go to O'Brien's quarters, and Keiko's had a bad day, but Miles isn't happy because she was late. He accuses her of having an affair with a chap in the science lab, and then storms out on her. But question 3, how many pips is O'Brien wearing today? Is it?
I did actually pay attention to that.
Is it? Oh wait, well, hold your horses.
Yeah,
Chief.
no, I'll give him 2 minutes.
How many
I will
pips?
say, himself and Gillespie are having a conversation, and they're both referring to each other by their first names. I know they're off duty or whatever, having a drink, but I was paying attention to their pips, going who's in charge of who, or who's the boss, or are they both officers? Where's the misters? I just I thought it was a bit. It was a bit kind of odd.
Yep, we'll get there in a second.
I was wondering
from a military protocol perspective, it was there. Gillespie, O'Brien, Gillespie, referring by their are they being informal? Then why aren't they using their first names?
He did say officer and everything when he's talking to us. So I'm like, wait, is Gillespie an officer? In which case, why is he talking to him in that way?
Gillespie's actually a fellow chief. They should be the same rank. But anyway, question 3. How many pips is O'Brien wearing today? Is it A, none, B, 1 black one, C, 1 gold one, or D, 2 gold ones? So, none, 1 black, 1 gold, or 2 gold. And then I had to be very careful with the next picture, because we're in 10 forward. And Miles is talking to Chief Gillespie. who warns things are getting strange on the ship with weird seeings and people seeing ghosts and things. But Miles dismisses what he says and walks out. Gillespie as well. In the ready room, Picard's trying to work, but his door
Can't
keeps...
see these pictures, by the way.
Oh,
We're still on Keiko
bugger.
with her dimple.
God damn it. Okay,
Yeah, getting a nice bit of Rosalind.
there you go.
There we go.
Also, Gillespie is an Irish name, and that lad's not Irish.
He's not Irish.
Maybe he had maybe he's 1/16 or something, but yeah, that's just a bit of a mismatch.
Anyway, that's Chief Gillespie there in 10 forward with Miles. And now we go to the ready room. And Picard's trying to work, but his door keeps going beep, 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 beep. Quite annoying. That would really wind me up. And it's kind of creepy as well, actually. The door just keeps... He tries to go to answer the door, but there's nobody there. Eventually, he decides just to ignore it and try to keep on working. And it just... Beep, beep. And then someone actually knocks on it. So he says, come. And it's Beverly and Deanna. They end up knocking on his door. They are concerned. What's happening on the Britain is happening now on the Enterprise. Picard's like...
Sorry, I just had an image of the, like Nevermore, like the Raven, sorry. Being set with Picard being locked in the room. It just made me laugh. Sorry, please continue.
Okay. Where was I? They're concerned with what's happening on the Britain is happening on the Enterprise because, no worries, we'll be underway in an hour. So they don't have to worry about a thing.
So he thinks.
Yeah.
Also, I like that previous shot because you can see into it. Although it's a weird kind of setup, he has his personal bathroom.
Over
but
here.
You can also see his replicator window, so you get the nice smells of the bathroom as he is the replicator. So. A weird combination, but nonetheless he has access to both, and you can see that he has his own private head, as they call it.
Yeah, people don't generally keep their kitchens in their bathroom, do they? But,
yeah, not really, no. But yeah, that's the captain's head and bathroom, kitchen/bathroom.
Well, to be fair, it's just siphoning into the replicator.
Oh yeah, matter exchange. Yeah.
Yeah,
let's go through waste extraction and then we come back up again.
More efficient.
Yeah. They got to get their matter from somewhere. So as they go to get underway, the ensign at the helm... Oh, no, wait, we've got to go back to that other picture. There you go. The ensign at the helm has a moment and forgets how to do her job. They find, though, that nothing's responding. No impulse power, no warp drive. They are adrift, just
perfectly.
like the Britain.
I said the black box is working perfectly.
Is it? I guess so.
The one at engineering.
Oh, the engineering console's turned off. Yes. Yeah. So that was the end of Act 2. So answers to the question. Question 3, how many pips was O'Brien wearing? Has everybody got an answer in then?
I don't know if everybody did, but a few people did.
We got a D, a D, a D, a D, an A, a D, a D, a D, and a D.
A B.
Oh, a B. Was there a B?
I put B.
Oh, did you,
I
Pete?
didn't
There?
know.
Oh, I
I
didn't.
just guessed.
Ah, right. Here is the answer in picture form.
Yeah, I think Gillespie had a hollow pip and Chief had 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. He had 2. He's got 2 pips today. And yes, I think he's got maybe one black one or a gold one. I can't quite see.
Yeah.
But,
it's definitely only one anyway.
Yeah, it's only one. So he's a lesser chief, than our Miles.
Well, I mean, not every enlisted person is a chief,
He's credited as Chief Gillespie, so...
Yeah. Well, in which case they should have... Well, there's a Master Chief, there's 2 or 3 ranks of Chief, but there's, there's various petty officers below that.
Yeah. Yeah, was there anything else from Act 2 there, Goof Girl?
Probably. There's also a funny functional factoid
Ooh.
if you want to cover it.
I cannot see it.
I did have one of those, but that's going to be for the next act, so I removed it.
Oh, you took.
right.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Too excited from the D.
You took.
No, don't worry. Carry on.
No. Okay. Well, no worries. We can go on to Act 3. No. Show me an Act 3 picture. There we go. Another beauty shot of the Enterprise D. Again, brand new for this episode. A close-up of the 4-foot model saucer underneath saucer section. It just looks really great in these shots, like the Miranda class there. Just the detailing on it.
I realize the Miranda class is a little bit too small in that shot, but well, not too small, but because of perspective, it's too small. But nonetheless, it does show that it's an older ship, and they mention it only has a crew of 35 or something. So
it's not small; it's just far away.
Yeah, well, that's part of it as well. But I like the scaling in the shot. It's well done.
It is. It's good.
If it was much bigger, it wouldn't look right.
No.
That's what I tell them anyway.
And at the beginning of this act, like the last act, we're now 10 days later. So they've now been adrift for 2 weeks. And again, in the last 10 days, they've done nothing. They've not made any progress since the last time we've seen them. They've just been sat there doing nothing.
Still haven't checked the logs for the Brattain or the sensor logs.
No, not checked the logs. No.
I was always wondering if that was because they were actually going mentally insane, like they were just blowing days.
They're just sat there sort of rocking in their chairs. Oh, no, what do we do?
Go to sleep for today and see if we can do this tomorrow.
Yeah. They've now had the really good idea of sending an urgent subspace distress call, but due to them being so far deep in space, nobody will receive it until for another 2 weeks. Which again seemed a bit crazy to me because I mean, Deep Space Nine contacts Earth and they can talk instantly.
Yeah, well, they kind of established this on the most recent series of Discovery. So there's a thing called subspace relays that kind of add kind of rebroadcast it and keep the carrier speed up. And if you don't have those, it takes a hell of a lot longer. So in the time of Discovery, most recent season, they run out of dilithium. So the distances, they can only travel at warp 1 basically. So the distances become 80, 100,000 times longer. And the whole of the Federation just fractures simply because they can't communicate with each other because all the equipment is just gone. But we see in Voyager, the Hirogen network, they can talk from 80,000 or 80,000 light years, no problem. Once there's kind of repeaters making sure it works, so they're obviously away from the Federation, and there's no subspace transponders in the interim. Is the only way that makes sense.
Yeah, but they can still access subspace. So
they can access subspace, but without the subspace relays, without the repeaters, it takes a hell of a lot longer. The signal diminishes, so it has to kind of catch one of these, be caught and retransmitted, and if that doesn't happen, it just gets slower and slower and slower. That's the only way it can make sense.
Yeah, all right, I'll go with you. And
it's roughly backed up by Discovery, as I said, because the way that they basically have 10 light years of range, and that's it. If there's no subspace transceivers, it just doesn't work.
It's just with this bit, it was just reminding me of what Tavona was saying like a few episodes ago when she was saying she was trying to map like where the Enterprise goes in a year, and
it's all over the place.
It's just really difficult. And this episode particularly, I feel, is a bit out of step with.
Yeah, it's on the Romulan border. It's on the Klingon border. It's in deep space, away from.
They're so far in deep space. They've been here for weeks.
It's in back in Earth for one episode, and then it's gone again. Let's just assume the episodes are aired out of order, and that makes more sense.
But you still got 26 episodes that cover a year, like in theory, a year worth of
so every
Enterprise
episode is
D.
2 weeks,
So every episode's about 2 weeks. So This one's been in deep
When you see the
space,
dates.
miles away from anywhere, so far that they can't even access a subspace relay, and they've been there for
Yeah.
weeks. They should have at least thought of
And
that.
nobody's
And
bothered.
maybe in the next episode had like a story where they were coming back from that. Do you know what I mean? Or so at least it felt like it was tying in some way. But TNG is very much like, this is the episode, and then after this, forget about it. Reset.
Yeah, well, they sold it as a syndicated show. Like obviously in the UK you had it on BBC, and I think possibly later you had it on Channel 4, and in Ireland we had it on RT. But like they had to sell it to thousands of networks all up and down the US, and if enough of the networks didn't buy it, then it didn't make money. So it wasn't launched on a flagship network that showed it to everybody. It had to be sold like literally 1,000 times across the country, and if they didn't sell it to 600 of them, it wouldn't make money. So it ended up making a lot of money and being very successful. But in order for them to be able to sell to those kind of people, they wanted to air them whenever it had a filler gap in the schedule. They wanted to buy it cheap and just throw it on anytime like something got pulled or just match called off for bad weather. So if the episodes had too much plot in them, they couldn't air them out of sequence. People wouldn't watch them. So it was very much deliberate, and it happened less and less as Deep Space Nine went on. But you saw it in Voyager that every week the ship would get trashed, and then the next week it would be perfectly clean and pristine again. So they kind of forgot about it again.
It was a Rick Berman thing, as you say, to make money. That was
they wouldn't have had to done much. I would like to I think they wouldn't have had to done much. They could at least said we're on our way back from Starbase 220 or something. You know how they just seed it so at least people who's paying attention knows where they're going, or because they do it when they're talking about other things like we're on a mission towards so and so, or we're leaving the something sector towards 220. And if you see that, a nerd like us looking at like a date, you'd be like, oh, they just came from there.
Yeah,
but it could have been like gentle continuity.
I think it just needed that gentle, but it was absolutely a no under Rick Berman. He just wouldn't allow it, which is a shame.
Well, I can tell you, I mentioned this fact before, but Ronald D. Moore got so annoyed when he moved from DS9 to Voyager that it wasn't the storyline didn't go on for long enough. So not the opposite of episodic, whatever the word is. That he basically just made Battlestar Galactica and he remade Voyager again. But like every week the ship got more and more trashed. They ran out of food. Things got harder and harder and worse.
Yeah.
And there's one particular episode of BSG that's very similar to this in a way, and it's called I forget the exact name, but it's called something like 47 minutes, because they have to like spin up to make a jump, and the Cylons keep chasing them, and they have to keep making the jump every 47 minutes.
Yeah.
And the crew doesn't get to sleep for 7 or 8 days because they have to keep making these jumps, and that you can see them all ragged and getting tired. And in some ways, it's similar to this in terms of the lack of sleep and the problems they had. But it's kind of like I wouldn't say completely, but in some ways it is this episode done better in terms of the realism. It really nails it well.
Okay. In the observation lounge, data shows they.
Yes!
Yeah, there he is. There's your boy. They are caught in a Tychon's Rift, which was named after a Malthusian named Bella Tychon, who escaped it by detonating his cargo of Anisium and Urium. However, they don't have anything like that to produce that kind of explosion. Tychon rifts are also not known to cause the symptoms that the crew are currently suffering.
Two things on that. One, I just spotted a hidden 47 on the L cars there. It's 7-4 at the end.
Oh, yeah.
The second one also, they're in low power mode, and the light on data is strictly coming from where the windows are, which is a really nice touch and nice continuity.
Nice.
And you mentioned about the Tychon's Rift and who that was named after, but does anybody know who the USS Britannia was named after?
I do not.
Walter Hauser Britain, an American physicist who, along with a couple of other people, invented the transistor.
Oh, cool.
Oh, well, very, very important piece of tech. We wouldn't have computers without them.
No.
On the way to the bridge.
Do you have a fully functional fact?
Oh, do you want to go for that now?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay.
Give it.
It's more. I have to put this in. It's a fully functional factoid foul. I don't have my football / soccer cards, but dream deprivation.
We lost Tabby.
We just lost Javi.
Oh no.
Okay, she wrote it out, so I can finish it.
Go on, Em.
Dream deprivation, even loss of REM sleep loss, does not lead to the symptoms in this episode. However, sleep deprivation does. Yellow card.
Yeah, some people, it's a condition, can't access REM sleep or, don't do that. And they don't go mad.
Also, in this episode, Picard mentions he rarely remembers his dreams. I think this is the second episode he says the exact same thing to Beverly in a separate conversation. And I can't remember the episode and it's bugging me, but he does actually mention it a second time.
Yeah, I did look that up.
Whether it's before or after, I can't remember, but there's a second time him and Beverly have an almost identical line.
So, on the way to the bridge, Riker mentions to Picard how Data is the only one not affected, so they're going to have to rely on him. They both have feelings of not being alone when they are alone. Picard suggests when one of them is on duty, the other should rest and tells Riker to go take a nap. Which he does. There he goes. Riker goes to his quarters, but is paranoid and hears noises. Meanwhile, Picard...
you think that he'd be, a cheeky guy who's always happy that somebody's in his room.
You'd think,
It's
yeah.
odd to me.
Not this time. He's not right. He's not in his right mind at the moment. So, whilst he's being paranoid and hearing noises, Picard is being crushed by a turbo lift.
Not on that last shot. Not the best example in the world of photography, but it's very rare you see a mirror, particularly on a show like Star Trek. You very, very rarely see them, but they obviously have to keep the camera out of the way.
Yeah, I went for the low shot.
They went for the low shot to make sure obviously it didn't shoot up, but it's just highly unusual to see it.
There's Picard, the lift's opened up on the bridge and he's like, ah! And everyone run to his aid, except Data, who doesn't flinch. He gives no fudges. He's just everybody runs to him. He just stays at his post. It's like, all right.
I had this background, sinister thought that in this episode, Data is trying out a different way in which he can take over the Enterprise game.
He's just biding his time to its Data time.
Can you imagine? That would be like what you androids do for amusement. I just want to see how many times I can take over the ship.
These puny humans will fall one by one.
Is that background actor in a season 1 uniform? Am I just imagining?
No, I think it's just one of those
very tight
jumpsuits
because he's very tall.
Yeah.
We've seen him a number of times stood back there. He just seems way too tall for the back consoles.
Yeah.
He's just always like,
Yeah,
yeah.
they maybe should have had him sit him down or something in front of the black box.
Yeah.
Like a perfectly good reflection, and then just a black box and nothing.
So Picard asks Data to come to his ready room. Meanwhile, back in Riker's room, he's trying to get to sleep, and he's hallucinating snakes in his bed. He's had enough of those. He's had enough of those mother fudging snakes in his mother fudging bed.
Little Samuel Jackson, nice.
Nice.
Oh, actually, sorry. I noticed when they told him to go to bed, he said he went to deck 8. I thought the senior crew, the senior staff, were all in deck 2 and 3. Like, it seems like quite a far distance. Deck 8 isn't where the senior quarters go.
He's got to pay some visits
all over the place.
before he goes to bed. He's got to do the rounds.
Well, maybe that makes a certain kind of sense if there's an emergency. If the senior staff are all split up, it means they won't all die together. But I was kind of thinking, that the first officer and that would be near the bridge. That if the turbo lift broke, they could climb a Jeffries tube and be there in 3 minutes. The deck 8, that's far too far away for the first officer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's near the battle bridge.
To look that up today,
maybe it's just under the battle bridge.
Yeah.
No, there's 42 decks, so the battle bridge should be on 21 or 22, something like that. Should be roughly halfway down. Oh well, actually,
no, it's
maybe
not.
it's no, it's not that far.
It's
but
about 12.
It'd be lower than deck. Well, 10 forward is deck 10, so that's only halfway through the saucer section. So
it's
must be
not
20
really.
decks.
It's not really because the saucer section is curved on the top, but it's quite flat underneath. It's a lot flatter. So there's only a few decks after that where it bulges down, but the bridge is actually the top of the neck, which is above the bottom of the saucer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's only just a couple of decks down. Yeah.
I think deck 8, given there's 42 decks, Battle Bridge couldn't be deck 8. It'll have to be much deeper than that.
I'm going to go and look on my plan on the wall.
So I don't know if this is true, but on some sort of science fiction question group, somebody says, where is Riker's quarters? And I mean his main quarters, not the ones he takes his concubines to. And somebody answers it's room 0912, first deck 8, then deck 9. So there's 2 different places over. Oh, it's deck 8 reference relates to Enterprise D. Deck 9 is Enterprise E. Currently, Picard is on deck 9, Worf is deck 7, Beverly's deck 8, Data's deck 2, Councillor Troy's deck 9.
The Battle Bridge is about deck 8. It's actually above 10
I literally
forward.
just looked it up. I stand corrected.
There you go.
I really would have thought it would be deeper.
No.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Deeper in the D.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, the Battle Bridge is on deck 8, so that makes perfect sense. So if Picard is on deck 2, then he could be near deck 8, and that way, the ship would be okay either way.
There we go. Yep. We've sussed that whole thing out. How's that for some investigative journalism?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. Right, where was I? He's just been told to his ready room. Get those mother fudging snakes out of my mother fudging bed. Okay, here we are. Picard asks Data to come to his ready room. Data thinks channeling power through the deflector dish, like they zapped the Borg, might do the trick. Picard's worried over losing his mind and tells Data about his grandfather who went that way. He tells Data that they will be counting on him for their very survival. Now, it's Name That Character round. And this is question number 4. So, question number 4 points for this. Mazim Bob, can you split? I don't know how many points is it for question 4?
80, I believe.
80. Can you make it a multiple that you can split it easily in 3? Because
I'll make it 90 points then.
90. There we go. So 30 points apiece. Who is this character? And I want rank, first name, and surname. So it's quite easy. It's quite easy. It's an easy one. I thought I'd give you easy, but you've got to get all 3 parts for the full points. Who is this character?
And so we need to... There's no multiple choice, obviously.
No multiple choice. I don't know if you can see. She's got ample nacelles. Yeah.
It's a rumor she could be coming back.
Nope.
Yeah, in Picard season 3. Wow, we wrote it exactly the same, Sean.
Yeah, you actually wrote it exactly the same with no capitals
even,
and
like, lack of capitals and spacing, everything. Yeah. Although I think she was junior grade, which I didn't write, but anyway.
Yeah. All right, so please put your answers in chat. Lovely jubbly.
So one thing to mention is,
Hello,
you know
Smiling
that
Rainbow. You're right.
fact 2 things.
Okay. No worries. Right, love you. Bye. No, I'm all right. I've got my wine. Sorry, what was that, Maz?
I could do with more wine. Hagen, just 2 things about him. One is that he's been laying there for how long? 5 days? 10 days? And in all that time, he's been in sick bay. Nobody's taken his shoes off. Nobody's changed his clothes or given him a, blanket or put him in any kind of nightgown or.
No.
It's like he must be getting bed sores or.
He's probably covered in poo.
Right?
Although, to be honest, those beds are the exact.
He's covered in poo.
Sure.
They can just beam that out of him.
But,
no.
Those beds.
That's why we rarely see a toilet, isn't it? Because they just automatically have it all beamed out of them.
those beds, you know, you can lie in them. They're the shape of a body, but if you happen to roll over onto your side, you'll just fall out of the things. You know, they're not exactly ideal if you're, you know, for sleeping or any sort of long-term care.
No.
There's no
No.
margin for error on them.
No, there isn't.
Sure.
No.
And the other thing was that the costume, John Pickery's costume, was sold off in an online auction. But now you're making me think, like, who would have wanted it? It's just full of poo.
It's covered in poo.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh, I do have a question
Okay.
because no one has brought this up in this entire episode, and I find it alarming. And where are the children?
Oh.
Because like Worf is trying to commit. Wait, no, that's not up yet.
We haven't got to that bit. We haven't got to that
Think
bit.
about that. Just remember. Just ask yourself, where are the children?
Yeah.
They're under these sheets. No.
Big children.
Yeah.
The first people to get axed when we start losing our minds.
In the morgue, Dr. Crusher is taking brain scans of the dead crew when she hears some rustling coming from one of the beds. She turns around and bam! They're all sat up. That was quite creepy, I have to say. You know, watching it.
Sorry, I just laughed at a joke I made earlier, and I'm just like, get him a body bag. So I've been watching too much Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much Karate Kid.
Love that series.
I've never seen it.
You're missing out.
Alex is currently on
missing out.
season
Hi,
2.
Andrew.
I haven't got around to it yet.
The fifth one just finished, and I think there's another one. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's so corny and brilliant. I love it. It makes me chuckle.
I really need to watch it.
Yeah, it's very good.
After West Wing, that's what I will do.
Yay!
That'll be queued up after West Wing.
Supreme Panko's putting the emoji poos on there, and and it does remind me actually that G Star pointed this out earlier, but in one of the comments on chat earlier, somebody did say, I love this episode, definitely a 10 out of 10. Made poo come out of me, lol. And I think it was probably this scene that they're talking about when they pooed themselves a little bit.
It is a little bit. It is creepy.
Although I will say, you know, no stasis fields, no like anything, just random slabs. And then, you know, presumably those pads have information about the people, and they're just pads. It's not built into the units.
No.
Yeah, not, you know, bit of a cheap out. I think it's They show a morgue in Voyager, and it's just a standard slots in the wall, and instead of refrigeration or freezing it, they actually just put them in stasis, which makes a lot more sense. But it wouldn't make for as good a scene as this.
No.
Yeah.
Which is presumably just the cargo bay set.
Yes.
This
tight
has
angles.
you thinking that it's been 10 days now. That's 10 days with dead bodies just lying there.
Yeah, but
they're
fluids
that would be pooling
I
in those bags.
expect
but
it's
they were also 10 or
refrigerated,
15
well,
days.
you know.
10 or 15 days on the other one as well. So, yeah, they're fairly putrid at this stage.
Regarding this specific scene, one of the comments says, is this the incident that ignited Beverly's passion for the paranormal?
Yeah.
Totally gave me the heebie-jeebies. Dr. Crusher seemed to refuse to believe what her eyes were telling her. The scientist in her eventually prevailed. But yeah.
Yeah, so all the corpses set up, and she goes full Dorothy with a kind of "there's no place like home, there's no place like home," and closes her eyes, and all the corpses lie back down again. So she takes her analysis off to Picard in his ready room. Picard's starting to look a little bit flaky and phased out now from all this. So she takes it to Picard, asks him if he's dreamed since they came across the Britannia. In fact, no one has dreamed except Troy, who's having nightmares. Her scan shows the same results from the Enterprise crew as the Britannia crew. They are all suffering from sleep deprivation. But they are not able to enter REM sleep, and it's driving them all mad. And as we discussed earlier on... they
can't dream about Michael Stipe.
No, they cannot. They cannot.
But Data's there, so really, they're already in a dream.
Sorry, completely off topic, but a friend of mine was working in a pub in Antwerp, and Michael Stipe came up to him after a concert and said, "I've been drinking wine all night. What do you recommend?" And he goes, how the fuck am I supposed to know what you want to drink, having no idea who he was? And but literally had to be pulled to the side and goes, that's Michael Stipe. And he goes, I don't care what his name is. So someone had to explain to him, was like, no, that's the lead singer of R.E.M., Michael Stipe. He made it up to him later in the night. Only person in the whole pub who didn't know who he was.
It's messed up.
But yes, they're not dreaming of Michael Stipe or anything. But as we stated earlier
Or
on,
shiny happy people.
they're not dreaming about them.
Oh well, one shiny happy person. Anyway.
One shiny happy person. One person's dreaming about, but apart from that, no one else. Yeah. So, question, whatever it was, number 4. Who's this character here? And we had lots of Lieutenant Tasha Yars. And it's actually a pretty good one, I think, of the characters I've got.
She was junior grade, wasn't she?
Sorry, I should have gone full thing, shouldn't I? There you go.
Was she junior grade or full lieutenant? I can't remember.
She's a full lieutenant.
Yeah. Okay. And she's only in 9 or 10 episodes before they got, or maybe it's 13 or something.
Doesn't want to focus on it, does it? Anyway, never mind.
Yeah. That was clear enough who it was. And I said there's rumors she may be back. She could be Sela, she could be Tasha, she could be Ashara. We don't know.
She could be some alien that we've never seen before.
Yeah, they just put her in a morn suit and just leave her walk around. And go, there she is, she's back.
That was her.
Gotcha.
We said she'd be back. He just does a shrug, walks off. Was there any goofs or anything for Act 3?
Not specifically goofs, but just one sort of interesting thing to note. Obviously, Guinan appears in this episode, as does Ensign Reagan. And they also starred together 10 years later in a film playing mother and daughter in Rat Race.
Just earlier on we passed it, but Ensign Lynn, so when the girl on the con kind of gets relieved because she can't remember how to send the course, he was actually in the original series as a kid.
Was he?
Yep.
Yep.
In And the Children Shall Lead from 1968.
Wow.
Nice. I have a fully functional factoid.
All right, go for it, Tavana.
Go for it.
Let's hope you don't drop out this time.
Yes, I put it in a chat in case I do. This is a fully functional fauna factoid. There are approximately 13 species on the USS Enterprise, and we only get to see 10 of them. And in this episode, only 2, arguably 3 species are not affected by the telepathic signals. So they must be using a broad range to communicate with any organism that they possibly can get to on the other side, which I thought was something that kind of happened in the script. But if you think about it, if you're in an emergency situation and you're in a telepathic creature, you try to broaden that range just in case you can catch whatever and anybody.
Yeah, like a hail.
Yeah. So I thought
like
that
a
was
hail,
really
all
cool.
frequencies, all at once. They just go.
Yeah.
And it just make a noise, just whistle. That's all it is. It's just to say there's a signal here if you want to respond to it.
So yeah, 13 species.
13. Wow. I'm surprised that they, considering they're all aliens, like, you know, you got 13 species from 13 different planets. They all have REM sleep in the same way humans do. Everyone's affected.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The range might have been so broad from this that it was affecting a plethora of people.
Like Phlox, for example, was a Denobulan, and he used to sleep for, I think, something like a week, but only once a month. So he'd go a month without sleeping, and then he'd sleep for, 5 days or something, and then he'd go again.
So he wouldn't be affected by this in theory.
Yeah, and some races hibernated, and, there was all sorts of variations. So, yeah. Bit of an odd one in that respect.
Yeah.
Also, 13 seems like far too few species for a ship that has well in excess of 1,000 people on it, 1,300 or something. And, there's supposed to be 300 or 400 worlds in the Federation. So, yeah, it doesn't really add up.
It's because the Federation are a Homo sapiens only club.
Yeah, they are indeed.
Yeah. present company excluded.
And Shakespeare only sounds good in the original Klingon.
Yeah. Okay, so Act 4.
To say, out of the 10 people so far that have given some answers and some points, we have 4 people currently in joint lead, which is Tavikins, Stu Plum, Sean, and Gujon.
Well, there might be lots of points
Okay.
today. We'll see.
Okay, just have to beam out for a second. Hang on.
They're the last 2 questions are pretty easy, so yeah, I think we might have a lot of answers. Okay, so Troy's in sick bay, still trying to communicate